Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California, and it is Monday afternoon, and we're going to talk about a few things here. Bitcoin breaking the pennant to the downside. So the big question is, are we going to get another swipe lower here? The attack on Israel obviously being one of the catalysts there. And overall, what I would say is that we had a couple of things happen last week. We had a bad inflation print. We had Uniswap get sued by the SEC, the Solana congestion, and the war on Israel. So overall, the market held up okay, right? And especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of held it strong, tried to hold this pivot, lost it right there. And if you remember our video on Friday last week, I said, hey, look, below the box of peace and prosperity, it's death and despair. And that's in fact what we got rather quickly. As soon as we closed below this area, quick swipe to the downside. And I think this guy, well, first off, Fred Krueger, great tweet here. Shout out to him. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, stocks dipped 3% but recovered within a month. After the Cuban Missile Crisis, stocks were 25% higher. After the Gulf War, stocks rallied 15%. Stocks have done fantastic since the Russia-Ukraine invasion. And war is bad short term, but for anything a bit longer, war is good for risk assets. Why is that? They just print a bunch of money. So we're going to talk about that. What the potential breakdown targets are for Bitcoin, funding rates, liquidity levels, and whether or not is Israel going to retaliate against Iran, which could cause that second swipe down to the downside. From the rumors on the street, Israel will strike back within 48 hours. This seems to come from New York Times, so you can't trust that, right? But it says Israel, and in fact, I just heard on Bloomberg that they were saying that Israel is likely to, respond in some way. So I think, we might have another risk-off moment here, and another swipe to the downside. I'll give you those targets, but overall, I am expecting, Bitcoin to pick itself up by its bootstraps. Bitcoin is anti-fragile. And, more bullish news, the BlackRock, Bitwise, and Fidelity ETF inflows aren't stopping. The new Hong Kong ETF is coming online. So Hong Kong, the Chinese that tried to ban Bitcoin for so long, now they're approving not only a Bitcoin ETF, but a Ethereum ETF all in one shot. So, the question is, if you sold because some influencer on X said chart patterns and geopolitics are more important than programmatic scarcity, I think this is a better tweet to take a look at from GCR Classic. If you've been sidelined and you believe this is a good opportunity, if you've been sidelined, believe this is a good opportunity to scale into high conviction tokens. If you're fully invested, just survive, hold on to your spot positions, and do not capitulate. Someone once said liquidations are a forced transfer of wealth from traders who need leverage to wealthy spot buyers. I was enjoying retirement from social media, but don't want to see my brothers get shaken out when the future is still so bright. That sums it up pretty good for me. Overall, I did want to bring up this point here, is that the measure move off of this, pennant formation, you measure from the 50% full. Where do they typically break? Well, it's 75% full. We did get a bit of a fake out up there, and we did say, hey, look, probably going to run it up. We thought it was going to run up a little bit higher, but we got what was known as the schematics 2, which does not take out the all-time high, but only the prior range high. Needless to say, you got the silver cross present. You've got pressure on the downside. We broke the purple 200. And I personally think, yes, we're probably going to get that swipe down to about 58,000. call it 58,500. On the 4-hour time frame, it does line up with this last prior vector candle, coming in at 58,329. And pressure is going to be to the downside as long as we're below the box of peace and prosperity and death and despair. More importantly, this pivot right here at 69,650, but I'd say back above the box, you know, probably going to make some new all-time highs. This is a healthy correction. This is in fact what we needed for a prolonged bull market. I do believe if Bitcoin was to take out the highs and, you know, make new all-time highs and just skyrocket off to the moon before the halving, it wouldn't necessarily be the most healthy thing for the market. That's just my opinion, and of course not financial advice. So measure move points down to about 58,000. What else did we bring up a few days ago? I loved my social media guy that made the headline. 5 warning signs that, well, we're going to see a correction on the 5-day time frame. And I believe it was on good old CMEs. Yes. There's my red arrows, my drives of bearish divergence. And I did bring this up. I posted on Twitter. I asked some people, hey, is this confirmed, right? And I said, yeah, this is pretty much confirmed in my book. Looking for really a drive all the way down into this green box, which is probably going to be the 0.5 and the 618. Yep, 0.5, 618 coming in. That would be really nice. You know, 5 drives of bearish divergence with this candle involved, you know, minimum, I mean, I hate to say it, minimum 55,000. The yellow 21 coming into play right there. The 382s at 51,000 and all the way down at 44 would be, well, the 0.5. And that would be a rather large correction from the top to the bottom. You know, we're talking 40%. That would be unusual. The kind of rhyme and reason for the market, you know, has been about 20%. So 30% would be in line with the typical halving, pre-halving dump. I'd be happy to see it come back down in that zone. And personally, yeah, I do think, you know, somewhere around 51, 52,000 is probably our downside risk at this moment, especially if we get kicked out of the critical zone on the 5-day time frame. The daily is crossing back down, won't cross up until we get back above 21,000. 12 hours down, 4 hours down, and the 1 hour is about to cross back up above 63,387, which we will have a chance to cross back up here. You know, hourly downtrend, you can see the gap got filled and rejected, so that was a good indicator. We were going to have one more swipe down to the downside on CMEs. Let's check in on Bitcoin dominance, as this one, you know, our interest here. What I do like is that, you know, we did say that most likely after, you know, a major consolidation, right, from the wick high to the low. Let's go in here. We were looking at that 0.5618, and in fact, we did get the move all the way up to the 0.5 and the 618 here. And that is your, you know, your first warning sign for altcoins as Bitcoin dominance goes up. That means altcoins are going down. Typically that's what it means. Bitcoin dominance up, bad for altcoins. Dixie is marching its way onwards and upwards. And let's give it a target on Dixie for this double bottom bounce here. Yeah, if we get back above 108, yeah, I'm not gonna enjoy that kind of price action for Dixie. But you know, I would say the next target is up here at about 108. So I guess I'll fill that in. Maybe we go on a wick basis and see what that looks like. 108. Yeah, that looks like a good line in the sand for Mr. Dixie as a flight to safety. World War III is around the corner, then people are going to be flighting to safety, Which brings up kind of the next point here is gold. You know, gold having a target of about 24.91. Maybe one more splurt to the upside here, but this does look like a bit of a, you know, a topping tail. As long as we're below this wick, then, well, pressure's going to be on the downside. 4 hour does seem to be attempting a higher low. And could we get one more swipe to the upside? Well, I'd be willing to bet that this does line up with our 1618 fib. Not quite, but close enough is close enough. So maybe one more swipe up to 2460 on gold. Checking in on WIF. One of the stronger beasts for recovery purposes. WIF had one of the strongest recoveries. I was watching that one live, up 68%. Solana, another strong one for recovery purposes, bounced 38%. I believe Super was also a strong one. And we are going to say pressure onto the downside as long as, yeah, you're below this pivot right here at about 116. Does it want to come for one more leg down? It looks like alongside most of these altcoins, I mean, brutal price action, brutal price action for Mr. Super. And where does that swipe lower go? Maybe down to that vector candle on the daily, somewhere around here. That I would consider just a major buying opportunity. We did lose the purple 200, and now pressure is on to the downside. We're coming into the gap zone here in about 15 minutes for all you traders out there. What are the dead gap zones? Well, that's when the futures market shuts down, and you do tend to see some volatile price action during those periods. And wow, we got another whack on a weekend, on a Saturday, right? War announcement. And I remember when when Palestine attacked Israel, and I was walking down the street in Santa Monica, and the market started dumping, and I did take a short. This one, unfortunately, I did not catch to the short side at all. Who else had a nice bounce? Ton had a nice bounce, and I do want to take a look at the number one coin on the number one meme coin on Ton, which is Redo. Mr. Redo. Oh, apparently. All right, I guess we'll start it off with Tuker. In case anybody's wondering about the meme coins, still looking hot, still looking strong. Tuker, you know, maybe rolls down one more time alongside Bitcoin, but this thing looks primed to go. I love the meme. I think it's hilarious, so check those guys out. Tuker, and then I wanted to see Redo on Ton. I just turned $140 into $1,300 over the last 2 weeks. Yes, it's possible in the land of cryptocurrency. My name is Chris Mitchell. I am the CEO of Crypt Courses, and I'm bringing you this video because I'm going to give you some really good information on how to buy, sell, and trade digital currency. Now, you've probably heard about a lot of people making a lot of money in crypto, but you don't feel safe or intelligent enough to make the investment. That's why I created Bitcoin 101, how to stack sats using technical analysis. It's the crypto trader's dream to starting your crypto journey. It's absolutely free. All you gotta do is click on the link in the description below, and we will get you your free guide today. Charting this one out. Good time. I certainly haven't bought any of this, but yeah, Resistance Dog, the meme. Currently coming in at $100 million market cap. Continues to make higher highs and higher lows despite the market correcting. And that's why I do think, you know, you may want to take a look at that meme sector. I mean, probably a little bit high for me right now. But TON is Telegram's token, and well, TON has been quite up and to the right. Check out the chart on the daily. It had a nice recovery here. But you can see TON coin, Telegram coin, which has, I don't know, I think it's 800 million users. If they're going to make USD native payments, that's the rumor on the street. USDC native payments on TON, that could be very beneficial for the coin. But to me, that does look a bit toppy, and I would not be getting involved here. Okay, what else do we want to take a look at? Might as well take a look at Matic, as Matic is one of the more severely hit products out there, almost coming into the lows, you know, breaking the uptrend here, and pretty much, you know, now it's a downtrend on the daily time frame. You got your first lower low, lower high, boom, downtrend. Matic, there was great hopes and dreams for Matic and their new token coming out. I want to say it was called Poly, but I don't think that was it. Anyways, Matic, to me, looks like it may want to test down one more time alongside Bitcoin. In fact, I do think it will. Ethereum, hanging out in the box of peace and prosperity and death and despair. I do think ETH is going to have its day in the sunshine again at some point. The question is, does it come a little bit lower? Personally, I think probably going to hold the Purple 200. If it does have one more swipe lower, then yeah, that I would consider the major buying opportunity. What else do we want to take a look at? Neutron absolutely got nuked, but looks like it's coming into a bit of a buy zone here, and did fill out this candle. So as long as we don't take out the bottom side wick, it's probably going to be okay. Next one up, Mr. Solana, and I did see, I do think that Solana probably takes one more swipe to the upside. Probably does get a bounce as meme coin traders are going to dump, you know, into Solana, and there's supposed to be a network upgrade coming for 21, which is going to help with the congestion issues. So I do think Solana has a chance to at least make a bit of a double top, yeah, I mean, unless we get the bounce off the Purple 200, which you know, is where I would consider a major buying opportunity for Solana. But I do think, you know, if anything, we're going to come back down here, bounce, and then probably have another, you know, lower high. So just be on the lookout for that. Liquidation levels here. Bitcoin heat map. So we got major liquidity hanging down at about 55,000 to the downside, and then 73,000 to the upside. I would expect that to kind of be the range here between, well, now and the halving, at least, at the very least, and again, pressure on to the downside for Bitcoin as long as we're below 69,000, creating probably the next major buying opportunity somewhere around this level, you know, between 53 and 50,000 bucks. But really, it's got to take out 58,000 first. And you know, whether Israel attacks or not, it does look like Bitcoin wants to have one more, you know, swipe to the downside. Okay, chart, be good to me. Here we go. So one more swipe to the downside is perfectly fine. You know, just part of the normal, you know, typical. We've been saying it since the beginning of the year that there is usually a 30% dump right before or right after the Bitcoin halving. I did want to bring this up as well. 2-day time frame volatility expansion from a pretty low levels, the lowest level since the last expansion. After having, you know, 3 major legs up, you know, wouldn't be out of the question to see it swipe down to the green 55. And the 2-day volatility play, you know, I think gets you something like around 38%. But just for kicks, let's see where 38% takes us. Well, 38%, 38% down to 44,000. So that number is coming up once again. So, you know, depends on the attack on Israel. If we can get back above 66, that's the pivot on the 2-day, 66, 137. If we do cross back up there, then going to look good for some, you know, expansion to the upside, which the 2-day closure is going to come here in the next 3 hours and 3 minutes. So it doesn't look like it is going to happen today. And that's it for Bitcoin. Checking in on traditional markets here, 2-day time or daily time frame. It does look like it is going to close below the green 55 and probably hit the measure move off of the ascending triangle to the downside, fill this gap, if that's even a gap. Let's check it out on the 4-hour. We know those gaps like to get filled. Is that a gap? No, apparently not. Taking off the moving averages to make things a little bit easier to see here. Nope, but the measure move does bring you right to the middle of this vector candle. I would expect maybe a bounce. As long as this region holds, I think it is okay longer term. And S&P did break the trend to the downside as well. Looks like it's coming for this last, you know, major little candle right here. Coming down just a bit further, that would be your potential buying opportunity, and that's it for that one. And yeah, Dow overall did lead the market to the downside. It, you know, perfect double top there, and bang, all the way back down. Where's the measure move on this one? This thing is just getting nuked here. Something about earnings today, and looks like it's going for the full retrace all the way down to about 36,320, and we did front run the 16185. So that's it on traditional. And again, keeping an eye on Bitcoin dominance, putting in a bit of a top here on the daily. So that would be good for altcoins in general when Bitcoin dominance starts to come down. We do see it break up here and head up to the 618. That's probably a flight to safety out of altcoins into Bitcoin. But I do believe the stronger projects are going to survive just fine. Absolutely just fine. And, you know, going into the month of May, this, you know, if the inflation number starts to turn around and we get some kind of a rate cut, which they're expecting something like 1.5% worth of rate cuts this year, that would be bullish for the markets in general. Last thing I want to point out is the funding rates. So everybody's talking about funding rates went negative. I don't see it, you know, so point me to where I'm wrong. Perhaps you could have called this aggregated predicted funding rate, which I personally don't even know what that is, but slightly negative there. When's the last time it went slightly negative? Well, and you want to see the read get down to about not 1% or not 0.1%, not 0.1. And that being the next major buying opportunity. If we do see negative funding rates, that is where you will end up paying to go short. That could be an indicator that potential bottom is in. So keep an eye on those funding rates. Check out Tuker. Okay, let's check out Resistance Dog. Where is this being made? So it is on TON. Where can you get it? Redo TON. Redo is the symbol, and well, it's absolutely been flying to the moon. TON looking strong, and the number one meme coin on TON might be worth considering. Exchanges, D-Dust and Ston.fi. So we got that, and yeah, people are net short right now, and you can see the last time we got down to about 800K. That was the major buying opportunity. as Bitcoin had a pretty substantial rally. So what was the rally off the lows? That was a 1 minute time frame. You'd be surprised how much action there is on the 1 minute time frame, but the rally from the low to the high there is going to be something like 10%. I mean, from the low to the high, 12% bounce. And the question is, lower, high, or not? Lower, high, or not on the daily time frame. Do we have lower lows? Yes, we do. We have the first lower low, and got to be on lower, high watch now, as we did take out this low. And sometimes that does set the precedence for, some significant downtime for Bitcoin. Want to keep an eye on the war, and again, when funding rates start to go negative, I would consider that one of the next major buying opportunities. You can see it went negative right here. Bitcoin went bang all the way up there from 26,000 to 48,000. Funding rates negative there. I mean, big rally. And here's where we got to, well, not 0.08%, not even 0.1%. So, close enough is close enough. You had negative funding rates right there at 0.1% and 0.2%. That was the COVID dump. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you off there. I will be back tomorrow with another one. I hope you have a blessed and highly favored rest of your day, and take care.